Nigel Cecil, Equity as you like it.
Especially for my equitable friends.
Chugga butties! Hello to my equitable friends!
Cobblers to your equitable friends!
And cobblers to you too!
Hello everyone, Chuckabouties, Nigel Cecil, entertainment entrepreneur, welcoming all my equitable friends. Thank you for joining us. And Hilary, yes, Hilary brought something to my attention. Apparently someone, I don't actually know if they're an equitable friend, said they didn't really like Nigel because Nigel was too egotistical and didn't fit in with the image of equity. What have you got to say about that, Dave, Equity Editor? Egotistical? Nigel Cecil? I think that all others, as you're an entertainment entrepreneur, Nigel, would expect you to be egotistical. I also think they would prefer you to explain things in your inimitable way rather than have me, Dave Eager Equity Editor, being more formal. What do you think, Nigel? Dave, it's all about trying to reach out and communicate with more equity members on behalf of my equitable friends. Why? Well, you see, equity keeps saying, oh, come on, engage. And in fact, over the last few years, those engaging have become less and less. And so Nigel thought, well, try a different approach, be an entertainment entrepreneur, and maybe some who wouldn't normally watch what's going on about equity and learn things might just say, yes, well, it's a different way of presenting it. Try different things to communicate. And given that the council are currently being prepared to hold a referendum about the biggest rule changes to the equity rule book almost in its history, one has to say that the Equity Council say they've undertaken the largest, most open grassroots democratic rights consultation process with the membership. Indeed, they've had 8 meetings across the country, some online, some in person. And guess how many, I mentioned it in the last video so some will know, guess how many actually engaged within that process? 72. 72 ordinary members representing themselves out of 47,000 members. And the Equity Council is saying this is the largest, most open grassroots democratic rule change process the union has ever undertaken. Now, where does that leave us, therefore? Well, you see, some of the rules that are going to be changed are called protected rules. Now, you may ask, what are protected rules, Hilary? Yes, those are the rules that the original founders of Equity, and over the years incorporating with the variety artists, decided were core democratic principles, aims and objects that could only be changed after full consultation and by referendum. Now, if the result of the Equity Council's consultation is only 72 members, where does that leave us? Let's just have a quick look at those protected rules. Of course, if Nigel goes on about rules, you'll say, oh, rules? We couldn't care. Who's going to learn the rules? You're boring. And that's what it's all about, you see. If you put it forward as a boring thing, then of course nobody's going to engage with the Equity Council. But let's be a little bit more entertaining. Now, Dave Equity Editor might want to sort of slip in and say something. Go on, do your formal bit, Dave. Here's the more formal information. Nigel has referenced rules 44.2 and 46.4 from the current Equity Rulebook. Back to you, Nigel. Now, the reason Dave Equity Editor has highlighted those rules is because it does appear to seem that given only 72 members of Equity engaged, that largest, most open grassroots democratic rule change process ever undertaken was not fit for purpose. And that, therefore, leaves everybody with a bit of a problem. And my advice has been asked. And I've said, well, you really need to flag up to the Equity Council that they may possibly find themselves in breach of the rules because they've not discussed those protected rules in a way that was in the best interests of the equity members. So, yes, Dave Equity Editor, get yourself organised, and I believe you should give due notice to the Equity Council that they are possibly going to find themselves in breach of the rules. Now, does that explain everything? It's sort of protecting the core democratic principles on behalf of all the members. I mean, if the equity members, my equitable friends, just sat back and did nothing and then tried to bring that to the attention of the council later, somebody will say, "Excuse me, why didn't you bring it to the council when you first spotted it?" So we'll see where that leads us. So keep in touch with the videos and we'll keep you informed about the referendum rule change process. But my next video, we've had a number of emails about artificial intelligence and what equity should be doing. So I put on my Dance's thinking cap and come up with some ideas. So that's the next Nigel Cecil video. What number is it? 82? I don't know. I can't even count sometimes, you know. It's the coffee. You didn't put enough coffee in my coffee this morning, Hillary. So until the next time. Oh, by the way, I'll leave you with this little, yes, my personal recommendation about equity. All right. See you again. I got my cup ready. Bye for now.
Nigel Cecil, Equity as you like it.